Hi, everyone. I'm Adrian. Here's Michael.
Hi.
We are here actually for the first time, so we are really glad to be here. Thanks for having us. Thank you. And we will be presenting maybe something different, maybe more something from the defensive security and proactive work that we are doing in public sector in Slovakia. So offering some services to public organizations there. Just to quickly introduce ourselves, I work as a threat intelligence analyst, also an engineer at the Aphrodita project. You'll see what that is just in about a few seconds. And also I am a MISP administrator, where maybe also I hope some of you know what the MISP is, or the MISP tool. And Michal is our CSIRT lawyer, a university researcher, and we will be covering also technical stuff, but also some legal stuff about how we approach the problem we'll be presenting. So yeah, the stage is now yours.
Okay, so thanks. Some words on our organization, on our CSIRT unit. As everybody, I believe, knows, CSIRT units are all over the world, so each of the countries supposed to have a national CSIRT unit. We are governmental, so-called sectoral unit, so our constituency is basically built around public administration. We have two locations in Bratislava, where we are coming from, that's capital of the Slovakia, and the second one on the second part of the country is Košice, where is the second location. Like small fun fact, Košice is the city where Volvo is now planning to start up its manufacturing plant. So this is Košice. Košice in Bratislava, it's a capital and the head of our CSIRT unit, but in Košice we have a laboratory for hardware and and forensic analysis. We are active in international cooperation, so we are part of the FIRST CSIRT. We're communicating also with ENISA and all our partner CSIRT units. We are also active in cooperation in various universities, also in Slovakia and the neighboring countries, security services, police, intelligence services. Okay. To more introduce you in specialties of what used to be a CSIRT unit in government, you have to understand what the constituency is. Even we are a very small country, so we have like 5 million inhabitants. Our constituency is the biggest in the country, so we are covering more than 8,000 constituents, very large, heterogeneous bunch of entities coming just from the small municipalities and their organization up to the ministries and central authorities. So very, very nice and very different authorities with a different level of cybersecurity maturity. Okay. What makes us special is that when we started our activities, it was like back in 2009, we was offered and we were based also on the special legislation, which makes us we have more powers based on the special legislation. So it is not the Cybersecurity Act, but it's a special legislation on IT in public sector, and it covers also the cybersecurity of IT in public administration. So as Adrian introduced ourselves, today we will cover more the preventive, proactive part of the services that we offer. But as you know, CSIRT units, they offer all of it. So not just the preventive, but also the reactive services regarding mainly with the incident handling. But what we do also the reactive part of the services. But what we will cover today, it has a strong relationship with all our services. So CTI is like something I would say like a red scan that comes just from the monitoring, scanning, and can enrich all of our services. So now it's time for Adrian to go into the core of our presentation, and Adrian will guide you throughout Aphrodita as our new CTI platform.
Perfect.
So, Adrian. please.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get back to the technicalities. Let's lay out 5 use cases for our CTI system. And I want you to remember them as best as you can because we will get to them later and we will reflect on those. So the first use case is pretty simple. You have organization, and on the other side you have a CSIRT unit, us. Mainly it starts with an incident. Organization has an incident, any kind. They have to report it. I think they are obliged to report it to us if they are part of our constituency. We are handling the whole incident handling process, and after some time when the incident is solved, we request some IOCs. We would like to know some specific information. Maybe we can share, we can import it to other detection mechanisms. Well, maybe you can guess what kind of format you get. You get a nasty TXT file, yeah? You get a raw, unprocessed data that you would like to have structured, but that's basically everything you get. So you have to additionally process these data. What's the use case number 2? Once again, it starts with an incident in an organization. They report it, we do the incident handling, and after some time, now we want to collect those IOCs. We go there, we collect those, and the question now is, where do we store them? Effectively, of course. It's not only about us, it's about, of course, many organizations in public domain in Slovakia. Maybe you can guess where we will store them? No, in a TXT file. Well, up until now, of course. You'll see in a second why. Third use case. Now we are the ones that we discovered some new IOCs and we want to share it with the community, just so, once again, we can enhance the security for them and for the whole country. So we will send them an email. This comes from us, so we don't send them a TXT file. We are trying to go at least a JSON way. So yeah, we'll send an email, and it's okay to send an email to 1, 2, maybe few organizations. But what happens when you have hundreds of them? You have more. Well, that basically means that you have to do an extensive emailing, some other processing. You have to specify these IOCs for many organizations. And that generally leads to crying internally. Use case 4. We would like to share IOCs from our incident with the community. That now comes from the organization. So they have an incident, they want to share those IOCs. Well, of course, they send us an email with a TXT attachment. And just from this information, I know that I will have an extensive emailing in front of me, so I once again cry internally before doing that extensive emailing. And the final use case is organization would like to have more context about their IOCs. They get just a list of data, IP addresses, hashes, domains, and that's it. They don't know what it is about. They don't know if it's malicious at all. So once again, they email us a TXT attachment, and our response is, sure, let me spend a few hours on it, like I have nothing else to do. So these use cases basically explain the problems we had before the Aphrodita project. And what it is, let's explain it right now. The Aphrodita project is a group of interconnected MISP instances and external tools and platforms. Has any of you heard or worked with the MISP tool? Maybe you can raise hands. Perfect. So you guys know how it works. Currently, it's only available to government and public sector, but we'll get to that later because there is a potential to go even beyond that. It's a trusted environment allowing organizations mainly to store and share IOCs, enrich them, and also validate them. And we can call it like a building block for the CTI because from what I know, this is the first of its kind in Slovak public domain, this project. It's a part of a bigger project called EWS, Early Warning System, which includes not only this is only the CTI part, but also includes vulnerability scanning, XDR, just monitoring generally. So this is just a smaller part of that. Okay, let's look at the actual composition of the Afrodita. There are 3 MISPs currently. 3 MISP instances. The first one is called Aura, which is our internal MISP, where all the processing happens. It's basically the brain of the project. Then we have MISP Atena, which is connected to government SOC, where all those processed IOCs get uploaded to government SOC to monitor every organization in the public domain. And then there is the access layer for organizations, which is MISP Afrodita. They can access this instance 2 ways. First one is direct access. Of course, MISP is still, or this instance is still a MISP tool. So we don't want to strip these organizations from the basic MISP functionalities. So they still can request direct access, and they can utilize these functionalities without having to get their own instance. We understand that not everybody has the means to do so. And then, of course, they can, if they want to, if they have the means, to create their own instance and synchronize it with Afrodita. This is still covered in our governmental network, so we call it GOVNET. How is it laid out? What's the infrastructure for that? May seem a bit overwhelming, but it's basically pretty simple. On the left side, you have the Aura, which is the internal MISP, which even visually you can tell that's some kind of a central part of this project. And on the right side, you get Athena, which is directly then connected to governmental SOC, as I said. You have Aphrodite on the upper side, which then connects to organizations. And really integral part of this project are also other external tools and platforms. For example, Threat Intelligence Console. As I said, organizations can enrich their IOCs to get more context, and they are doing it. They are basically can outsource these processes of enrichment by uploading their data to Aphrodite and enrich it through our MISP, which is then connected to Threat Intelligence Console. Apart from that, we also have connection to external MISP communities. So it's not only us, but it's also NATO MISP, FIRST MISP, and then European MISP, which is more used for temporary correlation, but still it gets we can get the context out of it, additional context. And last but not the least, we have connected the XDR console to monitor different organizations with agents directly their devices. So this is basically the whole infrastructure for Aphrodite project. Of course, there are tools and platforms, as I said. Our main CTI tool is currently Recorded Future, but also we get some interesting data from SOC Radar, and we mix it with Trend AI, which is responsible mainly for the XDR part. And on the right side, you see those MISP communities I was talking about. That sounds perfect so far. Yeah? You get a lot of data, seemingly. But is that it? Is that everything you get? The answer is no, of course. You get more. You get structured IOCs and TTPs. And the sharing and delivery is ensured both ways, of course. It has to be regulated somehow, and we are using TLP and PAP protocols for that. Organizations have an opportunity to outsource IOC enrichment. As I said, they can upload their IOCs and enrich it through our threat intelligence platform connection. They get regular summary of events in the cyberspace plus those IOCs. So we also do the proactive work. It's not only that we get data from other external tools, we also do the work ourselves. We gather them into Aura and publish them outside so they can get more and more IOCs on a daily basis, basically. But also, apart from that, they also get a monthly CTI report. So there's already a bunch of stuff getting out to all of these organizations. They get direct alerts in case of data leak, mainly credential leak. Recorded Future and SORGRAD are really helpful there. We are trying to warn them ASAP so they can avoid being the target of maybe some credential leaks and credential theft. And they get threat feeds, of course, which is basically just a big list of IOCs, also with some context. And they get streamlined connection to government SOC. So basically, when they upload something and they decide to share it with the government SOC, they can. And it's, in a matter of seconds, it's delivered to government SOC, which then they can import those IOCs to monitoring devices that monitor the whole public sector. They are not helping only themselves, they are helping other communities in Slovakia, public sector, to prevent any possible threats. Oh yeah, and of course, correlation environment for CTI data. As I said, MISP is still MISP. So the correlation is a big part of that tool. About the uploading, enriching, manually validating, we will get to that process basically right now. I would just like to mention that we have a custom taxonomy for that, which consists of currently 5 tags, which is not much, of course, but it gets the job done. And we strive to achieve full automation in this direction using cron and Python because the enrichment process is actually pretty easy to automate. The validation is a little bit more difficult, but we'll get to that right now. So as I said, we have our own taxonomy in MISP. We have request tags, and then we have basically response tags. The request ones are this is the default one. Every event that is created in MISP Afrodita gets this tag by default, so that you just know that this event is being processed, organization is uploading their IOCs, giving the context, and much more. Then they can request validation and request enrichment of those data. And the enrichment will be a really good example to explain. So these are the request tags, and on the right side, these are the response, basically, tags. The first one, request finish, basically says that, OK, your request is done. You can request more, or you can finish the event. And even finished, the last one, last tag is saying that, OK, this event is done. We can publish it, and we are happy with that. So let's look at that enrichment process. We have 4 points in that process. The first one is the user, the organization, of course, which has direct access to Afrodita. Afrodita is connected to our internal MISP Aura, and from that we can enrich data using recorded future. First step, pretty easy. They upload those IOCs. And of course, they have to request that enrichment by adding the request enrichment tag. The second one, Aura detects new events with the enrichment request tag. We are using automation for that, so they are basically checking periodically if there is a new event with this tag set. If there is, Aura automatically downloads it and starts the enrichment process, which is basically just API communication with Recorded Future platform. The enriched event is then returned back to from Aura to Afrodita. We, of course, don't want to create duplicities. So in Afrodita, the already existing event is only updated with new data. And of course, the organization then sees the enriched event under its distribution group, and they can use those data any way they see fit. So yeah, as many other projects, also this one has flaws. It's not a perfect one, and it's a pretty young one. So we are refining it constantly. It's a continuous process. The first one is, of course, persuading organizations to share their IOCs. It seems like an impossible task sometimes, but we are getting there slowly. Continuous requirements to fix bugs. It's basically a software development at some point when we are working with Python and maybe bigger scripts. So we need to fix bugs essentially a lot of times. And yeah, tag consistencies can be a nightmare, but that's a self-made problem because tags weren't supposed to be used that way as we are using those. I don't think the developers had that in mind for those tags, but we decided to go this way anyway. It's currently fixable by thorough tagging. So remember, guys, yesterday it was drink responsibly, today it is tag responsibly. But let's get back to those use cases. Let's go full circle. Let's go back to those use cases from the beginning. The first one, if you remember, could you send us IOCs from your incident? That way, and before this project, it was a problem. Now it isn't. Sure, we already uploaded them to MISP Afrodita. Just log in, you got it there. The second one, where do we store those? Once again, MISP is really good with working with IOCs. So we just upload it there. You have a structured data with context. You can enrich it so you can get more context and more information. And you can effectively share it between other organizations, which makes it basically more sustainable than just extensive emailing. We got new IOCs regarding that phishing campaign from yesterday. Perfect. Publish them in MISP Afrodita for the whole community. So the sharing is much more easier. If there is an organization that wants to share incident IOCs, that's basically the same thing. They just publish it in MISP Afrodita for the whole community. And if they need more context about those IOCs, they just request enrichment. And if we are feeling good, we can validate it for them as well. And you get rid of all those nasty text files, extensive emailing, and internal crying, which is perfect. We also got approved by the MISP gods. So yeah, guys from Circle.lu, which are essentially creators and developers of the MISP tool. They actually went through some of our events, so we know that we are, let's say, doing a good job, and we are happy for that. So we know we are going the right direction. So that's about the technical stuff. Let's get back to small legal stuff, and
yeah, now the legal stuff. No, don't be afraid. I will not bother you with the legal or legal lecture. I will just very continuously speak about what Adrian said. The first of the flaws was to persuade those entities to join us and join and share the IOCs. So how to do this? You know, what was the first step was to facilitate the relationship between our platform and those entities. So from the broader perspective, all the European Union legislation coming from the NIS2 to special regulations like DORA, etc., is at the end of those acts, but when you read it until the end, they are pushing the what is called information sharing agreements. So the member states and the entities are challenged with CTI sharing already. So we build up on that and we come up with the agreements. As Andrew and Adrian already introduced our early warning system. This is part of it. So we have those who are members and are participants in the early warning system. Their agreement already includes the clauses that provide for and facilitate the information sharing. And then with those who are not even in our constituency but are willing to join us and they see that we are doing a good job and they want to share and also to get the information from our MISP, for them we have developed a memorandum of cooperation, not big stuff, just to have a clear understanding and clear agreement on what's going to happen. And so, of course, because there is a lot of not just the security, but also the GDPR and so on. So you can imagine that you have to cover somehow all this stuff. So this is one thing. So how to cover up the sources. So as you can see, we try to have a lot of sources, not just from our own activity, but also from the commercial suppliers and, of course, from the agreements with different entities. Then the second legal stuff that had to be done somehow was, okay, so we have a very nice project, good one, technically rising up, but needs also certain terms and conditions, so how to build up about this. So we come up with I would say, very easy terms of use, just easy to read, nothing that would just you stuck on the time on learning and reading that, but saying very principal things. We offer our services based on the registration. So the registration is the first step that we had to cover throughout the terms. The account and how the account is established. Of course, responsibilities. So we just simply said what is acceptable use with what you got from our MISP and what it's not, what's forbidden. We also covered up the rules for uploading, and also we just want to put something about the MISP to MISP, so this push way of how to use our services, small part of data protection, and of course, when something bad happens, so you won't have some kind of ways to terminate the relationship with the participant. So this was the legal part that we had to cover somehow. I believe that it's functioned so far good. So yeah, legal background. And then, of course, the second part of the, I would say, PR of our platform is that we know that those guys sitting in the entities, they know the technical advantages, but we, as a part of the, I would say, PR, we are covering also the legal understanding of why to use MISP, why to use our services, and it is the compliance support. So, as I told you, when it comes to NIS, when it comes to local legislation covering the cybersecurity, all the security measures and obligations coming from detection, monitoring, risk management, up to incident response, it all can be supported via IOC sharing. So when it comes to better detection, when it comes to better enrichment of incident reports. As far as you know, I believe NIS2 came up with certain timelines and deadlines with incident reporting, so 24 hours with the early warning, 72 hours for notification, when you are obliged in these given time frames also to cover up also the details of the incident, including IOCs, including TTPs, including all the, I would say, signings of these warning signs that are and could be used in future for not just solving the incident, but also to identifying the threat actor. So this is something that we somehow try to manage. So the technical, also the legal part, just to persuade those people that, yeah, it makes sense to join us. It makes sense because we are not threatening you by any legal, I would say, legal tools, but we want you to see that even from technical and even from legal part, it gives you only advantages. So this is from our part. Yeah, please, Adrian, follow on.
Thank you. So let's look what the future holds for this project. As I mentioned, right now we are currently offering these services only to public organizations and governmental organizations in Slovakia, but we would really love to create a fourth MISP instance that will be completely public. So not only for private sector in Slovakia, but maybe even for other countries. Wink, wink. So yeah. We would really love to do that also in some time. cannot tell you when. We need to optimize automation. That goes without saying. And of course, advertise the Aphrodite project. We have some organizations, but we are not there yet. There are far more organizations that maybe didn't even they don't even know about this project. So we have to do better. And possibly integrate more tools and platforms just to make the output robust and diverse. Because, of course, you get context from one threat intelligence platform, perfect. You get that same output from 3 intelligence platforms. Of course, it makes it more, at least I think it makes it more credible. So to summarize quickly, the Aphrodite project, it's an environment for CTI and threat intelligence sharing using tool MISP. Organizations can enrich, they can validate their data, and therefore add more context to it, so they know what those data even mean, not only plain text IOCs. Organizations receive proactive warnings from our work, but also from our integrated threat intelligence platforms to improve their security. And prevention mechanisms, Aphrodite instance is accessible 2 ways, directly or using your own MISP instance. And of course, solution is scalable. We already tried to integrate it to our other projects like Achilles, which is connected more to vulnerability management and scanning and other vulnerability-related things. So we would really love to do that fully. Thank you very much. I think that's all for the presentations.
And we do have time for a few questions, because there will be a taxi waiting for these guys to leave us. They're running away. So anyone? A quick question? Now I scare you away even more than before. No one? There we have one.
Okay.
Yeah, one. Perfect.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank
Hi.
you for the nice
Presentation?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great work.
How do you work with like the smaller, like local government organizations that don't have like enough space in their budget or so to actually work well with the MISP? Do you use the like direct link?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great question. I forgot to mention that this is all free, of course. So they don't have to have a budget for that. Since we are offering our services, I think it's also legally that we are offering those for free.
Yep.
Because the background just says that we are supposed to inform these organizations just because of the law, how it's written. So first of all, they don't need any budget for that. This is completely free. And if they don't have technical support, which can work with MISP, we created at least some information lists to provide basically manuals to do the basic activities in Aphrodite. So it means uploading, enriching, and validating their data. If we are a smaller team, so when there is a possibility to help them directly, we try to do that as much as possible. If not, at least those information lists are sent to those organizations to work with those.
Okay, I think we can do one more question if we have one. Okay, then thank you very much, Adrian and Michael.
Okay.